This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 278 of the Dressage Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network. This episode is sponsored by Kentucky Performance Products, Total Saddle Fit, and EasySignsOnline.com. This is Lindsay McCall from Jupiter, Florida.
And this is Regina Cristo from Sand Lake, New York. And you're listening to the Dressage Radio Show, brought to you this week by the United States Para-Equestrian Association. And we also have our producer, Glenn, with us.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. I missed you last month.
Thank you so much.
Well, you guys, obviously, WEG was going on. We talked last time. And somebody had a baby, right before the show. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, she was perfect because I told her she had to come before WEG because I had a lot of work to do during WEG. And she came on August 22nd, and which allowed me 2 days prior to us getting started with the World Equestrian Games. And I was still able to send out press. I didn't get to write it at all. I had a friend, Jennifer Bryant, write it for the United States Dressage Federation. But Sue Stickle sent us photos, and Jennifer did press, and I was able to get it all sent out and actually work during that week. So it was perfect.
Perfect. That sounds stressful to me. 48 hours after your baby? Oh, my goodness. But it was really great. Well, we were really lucky to be able to get those updates because that was wonderful. I don't think anybody expected that. So thank you so much, and everyone's so thrilled for you and your husband and the baby. We can't wait to see you guys in Florida.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to bring her along.
What's the baby's name?
Her name is Audrina Abby McCall, and her middle name is actually after one of our dogs that we've had for 12 years. So for animal lovers out there, I'm sure they understand that.
Okay, but do me a favor, all right? Do not tell her 12-year-old friends when she's 12 that her middle name is after a dog, because that's not going to be good. So let's not mention that. Save her a lot of embarrassment.
Beautiful name.
It is a beautiful name. Where did the first name come from, Audrina?
Sure. My husband and I were looking for a name and thinking of something, and we found it, and it's not a very common name.
No, not at all.
We were trying to find something that wouldn't be too hard to spell or say. So we looked for something, and it's also something that can be professional, and it's not too cutesy. So that's kind of where we ended up.
What do you think, though?
Well,
what do you think they'll call her? Would be...
sometimes people go with Audrey for short, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I do not know.
Arena, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty name that's not like super common, but it's not like one of those quirky names that you hear people naming their
like Rainbow or Forest,
or Apple,
or River,
Brooklyn. Yes. So very, very cool.
And now we've just insulted everybody with those names. We didn't mean that. Sorry.
So we can move on now.
Yes, exactly. Who else can we make mad tonight? So what's coming up on tonight's show, guys?
Well, sure. We have brought two people back from France. Those are Sydney, one of our riders, and her trainer, Wes Dunham. And we'll be chatting with them. Sydney she was one of our youngest people at the World Equestrian Games, and I've heard that she's been the youngest in history to compete, but I don't know if that's confirmed or not. And we're pretty excited to hear from Wes as well and hear from his experience over there.
Well, and also she became a superstar. I mean, geez. She was a press phenomenon.
Oh, she had the paparazzi following her around, and she had her cool special dog with her whose name is Journey, and he's a... Lindsay, help me out on this one. He's a
standard poodle.
He's a big, like one of the big poodles, yeah. Which is not usual for a therapy dog. So,
no, it's not. No. And he was the first dog to ever receive accreditations at an international horse show, and he wore those around his neck, and it was quite cool. We enjoyed listening to Sydney tell us a little bit about that. So,
and he's a white one, and of course he was all trimmed up. So, in his poodle outfit, he was wearing his poodle outfit the whole time and just looked regal. I mean, really did.
Oh, and he definitely had some USA gear on, so everyone knew where he was from.
I think it was really important to bring him along this time. We should have thought of this last time at, in London. I mean, he was an ambassador for the United States, and it really made Para-Dressage really recognized this year. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's really cool.
Now, how did Para go? I know a lot of people. We've talked in the last couple of weeks about dressage and how everybody did. We had some of the winners on and all that stuff. So, how did we do with Para here?
Sure. So, the United States, as a team, placed 11th. Now, we really thought we were going to place really high up there. And we did great, but unfortunately, those are where the places ended up, but they were very close. If we were to talk about it as a whole, the team medals, the gold went to Great Britain, of course, as usual. Silver went to the Netherlands, and bronze went to Germany.
Yeah, it was quite the competition, although I know Lindsay wasn't there because she was just about to have her baby, and she actually did a couple days ahead of time. And I couldn't get over there as much as I wanted to. I spent quite a bit of time up in the middle of the night, and I think I caught almost every single one of our U.S. riders compete. The time change was kind of difficult if you wanted to catch it live, but it was really worth it. And it's a big venue, it's a big event, and our riders went out and did their best, and their horses were good. And, there was little mistakes here and there, but overall, I'd heard nothing but positive, that it was a great experience, and we have a super young team and all new horses, so I think the only way to go from here is up. So I hope people get a chance to maybe watch some of that on FEI TV or YouTube or wherever you can. Go take a look at it. It's pretty neat stuff. Right after this commercial, we will be back with Sydney Collier, a member of our United States para-equestrian team who competed in Normandy this past August.
Lush, cool season spring grass is packed full of vitamins, minerals, and energy, but it's also high in sugar. Sugar-sensitive horses grazing on lush pasture can develop colic and laminitis. By paying attention to daily temperatures, you can limit your horse's access to grass that is high in sugar. In the spring and fall of the year, limit grazing or stop it completely when daytime temperatures are warm and nighttime temperatures are below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. In the summer, when days are sunny and nights are warm, allow grazing in the early morning hours, but restrict it in the afternoon and evening. Because grass is your horse's best source of natural vitamin E, horses that are restricted from grazing are at risk for developing vitamin E deficiencies. A lack of natural vitamin E can result in sore muscles, a poor immune system, and even neurological problems. Kentucky Performance Products Elevate Maintenance Powder is an affordable way to provide your horse with the natural vitamin E missing from his diet. To learn more about Elevate, visit the Kentucky Performance Products website at kppusa.com. This Nutritional Minute is brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products, because the horse that matters to you matters to them.
Hey, Sydney, thanks for coming to the show with us and with Regina and I. How are you today?
Doing very well. Thanks for having me.
And have you recovered from France?
Yeah, we're just starting to readjust back to life here in the States.
And how was your experience over there?
It was incredible. It was a once-in-a-lifetime type of experience. It really was. It was heartwarming and inspiring and really, really cool to be competing on such a high level with all of my idols, too, competing against all them. And it was just amazing for my first experience. I can't say enough good things about it.
Well, that sounds great, Sid. It's Regina. I'm so glad that you guys had a wonderful time. I was up early in the mornings to watch your rides every time you went out, and it must have been something else. What would you say was like the highlight of your whole trip, if you had to put it in one category?
If I had to choose one thing, which is really difficult, I'd have to say opening ceremony was so amazing, and walking in the parade and realizing, wow, I've actually made it here, and it's all culminated to this moment. And with the full stands and the atmosphere, it was just so incredible to be a part of it all.
And you had Journey there with you too, right? Right alongside you.
Yeah. Yeah, Journey was incredible about the whole experience. He got a lot of press because he was the first and only service dog ever to get accredited at a big World Championships international competition, and so he got a lot of press. He loved all the cameras. He had his own little paparazzi.
Oh, that's fun. So tell us, what it was like actually showing each day and heading down that center line and having to actually do what you went over there to do. How did all that feel different from, say, regular shows?
I feel like a lot of people might let the pressure get to them, but for me, the way I tried to think of it was I tried to play the mind game with myself of, it's just the same ring, it's the same dimensions, and I really tried to not let the atmosphere get to me. I never get nervous about things like that. I more get excited. So for me, it was a lot of trying to channel that excitement into a Zen-focused energy, and I think that we really accomplished that throughout our ride.
And how were those tests with Willie, with your horse Willie?
He's actually not my horse. I actually borrowed him from a girl down in Texas, Victoria Dugan, and my trainer Wes and I were so happy with them. On the first day, we went down center line, and it really accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. And then we had a day off from showing in between, where we really worked a lot in the warm-up area and focused on what we really needed to focus on to improve for our next test. And our next test, we actually went up about 4 percentage points, which was really, really cool. And we actually moved up 3 places, which was awesome, knowing that Willie and I accomplished that in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I bet you guys were proud. And how did your coach, Wes, like and handle the whole atmosphere from a coach's standpoint? What do you think, how that went?
Wes, he handles it amazingly. He's been there, done that, and he's taught me so much, especially in that atmosphere. For him to be as calm and collected as he was, it helped me a lot as a rider.
Yeah, I imagine that Wes did a great job. Like you said, he's got experience. And, I think a lot of times people think about the rider and the pressure and it's everything. And I think the coaches and the trainers, sometimes everyone thinks they just can just do it all. So that's cool. That's really great.
Yeah, it was. I cannot say enough good things about the experience, really. And the whole team did amazingly, and we really grew together almost like a family would, and I'd be honored to be on a team with any one of them again.
What was the travel like, Sydney? Because I know you guys went from Germany. You guys arrived in Germany, and then you guys ended up in France eventually. But what was all of that like? I want to hear about that.
The travel was, it was pretty uneventful. It was a lot of, we actually did planes, trains, and automobiles. So we did a couple of high-speed trains to get to Paris, and then we drove from Paris to Normandy, and so it was a lot of commuting. And I was actually, at first I was just wondering how Journey would handle it, I wasn't so much concerned about how I would handle it or how my body would handle it. And he was incredible. For the plane ride from the U.S. to Amsterdam, he just laid there. He curled up and laid there the whole 8 hours. And then we arrived in Amsterdam to get on 2 more trains and then finally get to Aachen. And he handled it amazingly. He never ceases to amaze me with all of the things that he puts up with.
Oh, that's great. So tell us a little bit about your family and who went with you and how all that support helps with the competition and the trip.
Yeah, actually, so my family, especially my little brothers and my dad, and everyone really, has made so many sacrifices to get there. And we were really lucky to have both sets of my grandparents, my dad and my little brothers, and of course my mom behind the scenes with me. And it was just so amazing to have them all there for Willie Wesley and I's moment in the spotlight. And it was great having them there to talk to after my rides and really to keep myself in the mindset I needed to be in. I can't say enough good things about them either.
You talk about your team, and it's so important, like you were saying, to have your family there and everyone there. As a rider, what additions did you need? You also had an assistant, you had your mom there. What else did you need? What type of people did you have there as part of your team?
So, my mom, she was basically my person behind the scenes. And then, Amy McWham from Canada, actually, she's Wentworth, my horse's previous owner. She stepped in as, groom for Willie Wesley. And it was so amazing to have her there with me because, she's always been so helpful with Wentworth and having him to be a part of my team. And so having her there at my first big world championships was so nice. And I can't say enough good things about her either, really.
Well, it sounds like you guys had a fantastic trip. What's on the horizon for you, Sid? What's your new goals that you're setting?
So, coming out of World Championships, actually, currently I'm in Michigan getting all of my medical things dealt with so that I can be as in shape as Wentworth. And then once we get back to New York, which will be after this weekend, still have a couple more doctor's appointments and everything to do. And then once we get back up there, it's back into 6 days a week training with him and doing as much showing to get as much experience under our belt and as many times down the center line as we possibly can, and gearing up for the Paralympics in 2016, hopefully.
Well, I was already contacted by the USOC, the Olympic Committee. They're already getting ready and gearing up and talking about our team. So I was excited to hear that already. We're jumping right into Rio.
Exactly. We're going to be so prepared. It's going to be perfect.
Now, I also wanted to ask you a quick question about just physical education. In schools right now, they've been cutting a lot of physical education programs. And as a young adult, as a rider, how important is that for young adults to stay active and to do a physical exercise like riding or to be a part of a sport like you are?
It's super important because, honestly, it teaches you so much about yourself. And to keep yourself in shape, it helps a lot. And especially for someone, if you have big Paralympic or Olympic goals, it's super important to stay physically active and keep yourself in as good of a shape as you possibly can. And even if you're not hoping for that high of a level, being on a sports team or working out once or twice a week, it can make all the difference for you in your emotional health as well as your physical health.
Yeah, that's true, Sydney. I have one final question about your trip to Normandy. How was the food?
the food was amazing. Oh my gosh, it was so good. The one thing I was surprised about was I tried snails for the first time up there, and I really liked them. I was not expecting to like snails, but tried something new and it turned out well.
Oh, good. Well, I was dreaming of croissants since I couldn't be there, so I'm so glad you guys had so much success, and congratulations for all you've done.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me and everything. And talking with you guys has been awesome. It was a trip of a lifetime.
The saddle fit solution you have been waiting for is finally here. TotalSaddleFit.com is proud to introduce the Shoulder Relief Girth. This strategically shaped girth actually moves the girth line of your saddle back over 1 inch, thereby freeing your horse's shoulders from the saddle. Traditional girths pull saddles up against a horse's shoulders and often over the top of the shoulders. The Shoulder Relief Girth's recessed ends allow for the billets to buckle into the girth farther back to give your horse unparalleled freedom of motion. We are so certain that your saddle will fit better and your horse will be more comfortable that for a limited time we are offering a 30-day, 110% money-back guarantee. If you are not totally satisfied with your shoulder relief girth, send it back for a full refund plus 10% of the purchase price. Don't wait. Order now for the best saddle fit solution available.
At TotalSaddleFit.com. Visit TotalSaddleFit.com. This week's spotlight product from EasySignsOnline.com is their outdoor silhouette cutouts. Made from a long-term outdoor durable vinyl aluminum material, these cutouts will outlast the old-style painted wood ones by many, many years. A great way to add an equestrian image to your barn, horse stalls, mailboxes, houses, or campers. Choose from dozens of equestrian or animal graphics online, available in 2 different sizes starting at only $59.95. And remember, free shipping on most orders over $100, all at EasySignsOnline.com. Get your silhouette cutout today.
Coming up next, we'll be speaking with Wes Dunham, who is the trainer for Sydney Collier, one of our riders over in Normandy. Wes resides in Millbrook, New York, and has been coaching para-equestrian riders for several years now. So, Wes, thanks again for taking our call and letting us know a little bit about your trip to Normandy and with your rider, Sydney. How do you think everything went, and what's your... Oh, thank you. So tell us a little bit about some of the favorite parts of the experience, and as a coach, what'd you think?
I thought it was a really good experience, especially from Sydney's standpoint. Being 16 years old in their first international competition, abroad, that is. And I'm thinking that moving forward, she's going to do very, very well. And we're looking forward to having her horse back in the show ring and ready to go.
Sure. What were some great parts of the competition? Not only Sydney, but like some of the great parts of just the USA and overall what you saw.
I found that the competition for our riders was great and the experience was really good. The thing that I was happiest about is that our team was very unified and got along great, and everybody was working as one complete unit and attempting to get their scores up and trying to strive for a medal. We had a young team and a team that was showing their horses internationally that without experience in a lot of international competitions. Everybody was on a new horse. And for that to have happened in France was really, really good. The horses in the warm-up ring as far as I was concerned, won a medal. I mean, you watched them warm up. They were great. They were calm. And then they had to go out into the competition ring with bleachers around, flags blowing, people everywhere. And they kind of got sucked back, got a little looky, and caused little minor mistakes. But as we know in dressage, one little minor mistake brings your score down to a 6, and then you have to work with that. So overall, I thought it was a great experience, and I think moving forward, we really need to get a group together that is out showing as a group, whether it's an A team and a B team, and move them around, get them the experience, get them the exposure, so that when we enter a venue like that, they're not overwhelmed, especially the horses.
You were there in London, and you saw the ambiance there, and you were saying that the flags and the ambiance in France really kind of made the horses set back. What was the ambiance like for you, for those horses when they got in that ring?
Well, I think the difference between London is that we had a little bit more ring familiarization with the horses, and it was a great big stadium with a open end to it, and so the horses entered, they felt comfortable there, and in France you had the all-tech weather screen, and horses' heads would be coming up from other rings, and all you saw was the horses' heads popping along the area, and that was a little startling, and it was just a little bit more enclosed as far as how close the bleachers were and stuff to the main arena. With time, if our horses had been able to see that more often or more experiences like that, I don't even think it would have been an issue, and you wouldn't have had little mistakes.
So, Wes, it sounds like we really have a nice group of riders and upcoming younger riders doing a lot of the para international work. Where do you see as a trainer, not only Sydney heading in the future, but the our U.S. para team as a whole?
I hope they're heading in the same direction. I would love to see the team as a whole, and like I said, either whether it's an A team or a B team, and that doesn't necessarily mean A is better than B. But I think that we need to have a group traveling at different times during the year together with their horses and their mounts and their coaches and run through some of these scenarios. I think that just going into things blind, so to speak, is not the best method of doing it. And I realize that has been my experience from London and now France, but it's not the best thing to be doing, and funding is always an issue, and I really hope that some people start to continue to step up so that we're not scrambling and wondering, at the last minute, well, gee, the horses are paid for, how are the athletes getting there? And, the joke in our barn was, well, the horse will be there, I hope he knows his test, because we're not sure how Sydney's getting there yet. And
right.
And then as far as, go ahead.
So I'm just kind of follow up with that. So you think it's important for our riders to get out and do even schoolie shows and national shows and local shows just to get the time in the arena, because every bit of time, even in a normal venue, is going to be so helpful to their futures when they are faced.
Absolutely. I mean, I was just at Saugerties Region 8 Championships, and I think we only had one para rider there that was actually riding in the able-bodied, and she did extremely well. Sydney has to be away right now doing family stuff. But Saugerties last year was the largest horse show in the United States. 650 horses in the rings, and in the stabling, and in the environment. Where is everybody else?
Right, that's a huge environment.
Why aren't you there showing? Why aren't you there getting your horse used to the circus, so to speak, or the chaos? That part is a little bit baffling to me, and waiting until selection trials the year before Rio or the year before Normandy just isn't going to work anymore. I watched the other countries. We stepped up with our horses. Well, so have they, and their horses are seasoned. We need to do the same thing. You need to get out to the schooling shows. You need to get out to clinics. You need to step into rated national shows. It just has to happen if we expect to do better.
Right. I'm sure it sounds like every little bit helps, and every type of venue helps, so you can see the tents and any type of bleachers or umbrellas. It all adds up, especially when you're going to that international competition.
It does.
I think it's a good message.
It's also important to point out, Wes, maybe you could tell us financially, didn't Sydney have to bring forward most of the money herself to get to France?
Yes, she did. She has had some individuals help come up with that. She's had some other sponsors stepped up and helped with that. I am not speaking out of term, but I know we're still working on finalizing paying for everything that costs. And so, we're still beating the money tree. And it's a big endeavor, and it's huge. And if you plan on making a team, you've got to expect the unexpected, and you have to be able to roll with the punches. And there's so many different personalities that form a team, and you have to learn what everybody's personality is. Everybody reacts different to different situations, and understanding not everyone's coming from where you're coming from. And I was just really, really pleased with the athletes and their ability to do that. And
do you think we're right there at almost medaling? Do you feel that we're right there, and we really should be medaling in the next few years?
Oh my goodness, yes. I know we didn't finish where we thought we were going to, but the thing of it is, and I can speak for Sydney's first test. You go down center line, you halt, and your horse steps sideways. You don't correct that. You just stay on still, salute, and continue. And that's stuff that you learn from international exposure. And does that horse halt square every time? Absolutely. It just happened at this big show. Something caught his eye, and he stepped sideways. And that takes your score from one spot to another. And then other horses going around the ring, beautiful, beautiful circle going on, and then, oh my God, the tent flaps. They invert, then they're back round again. It's just stuff. It was so little. It was so minute. And if you had seen our horses in the warm-up, you would have been like, oh my gosh, they're going to pull it off. Well, yeah. But then, just the ambiance of everything and the excitement of everything. And it was just little mistakes here and there got us.
And I think, Wes, to, repeat what you said before, getting out to as many shows, and they don't have to be big, expensive shows, getting out to your schooling shows or your local national shows and just doing it over and over and over again till it's confirmed. And, little mistakes happen all the time, but the more practice you have, the more chance you have.
Exactly. And, unless you're going down center line constantly into those halts and moving off, you're not getting the practice, you're not getting the exposure, and you're not getting the horse used to those little things that go wrong. And they've got to trust you as much as you have to trust them.
So, Wes, did you get to experience some of the other parts of France?
Oh my goodness, I ate my first escargot ever in my life. And I am so happy that I did it in Cannes, France. It was incredible, and I would definitely have it again. I think if I was in France or knew of another restaurant that had excellent escargot, it was amazing. And the restaurants in in Cannes and Normandy were incredible. The food was amazing. I just had a great experience. I got to meet some new people from other countries, other trainers, and network a little. And it was an opportunity unlike any other that I had experienced. And I am very grateful to have been part of the United States para-equestrian team.
Well, we love having you too, Wes. You're a wonderful trainer. You've worked with several paras now, and you seem to keep bringing them up to the top. So thank you for all your work that you do with our riders, and we wish you continued success as we move toward Rio.
Well, thank you. We try. We try to go for the goal of the rider and pick horses that can do the same thing. And I hope to continue to keep putting riders into those positions where they represent the United States and bring the sport to a newer, higher level.
So now what happens now? Is the para season pretty much over except catching some individual shows here or there?
Yeah, there'll be some regional championships and some regional things occurring. But our season has ended, and we begin again in January. We have some international shows in Wellington beginning.
Are you expecting, Regina, do you know, are you expecting more or less riders to show up in Florida this year?
We're not sure. We're hoping as many can make it as possible because, as we know, there's not very many that are going on, and we want our riders to get out and practice as much as they can, especially in that type of venue. But we're sure hoping that we get them, and Florida is a beautiful place to come in the winter, and there's a couple shows there, so we're keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah, heading to Wellington and Palm Beach isn't too bad. I mean, in the winter.
No. It beats a lot of other places in the country.
I can think of worse places to be.
Definitely. So we're hoping that we get as many riders as possible because it's a great time and it's a great experience, especially for people who really want to get into the international levels.
Well, terrific. Well, I wanted to remind everybody that I wanted to mention this on the Dressage Show. I didn't get a chance to do last week, but we had a milestone here at the Horse Radio Network. We hit 1,000 episodes on the Horses in the Morning radio show. And we had a little party last Wednesday. As best we can tell, that's more episodes than it's been done on any equestrian radio show ever.
I bet so.
So we're pretty proud of that, and we celebrated last Wednesday. We had our first two guests that we ever had on that show back. They were on the first episode, and we had them back, and we had them playing trivia against each other. So we had eventer Gina Miles, Olympian eventer Gina Miles, and Olympian Jess Phoenix, and they were playing United States versus Canada. So
nice.
United States won. Gina won in a tiebreaker. So
nice. The pressure, see?
So United States won in a tiebreaker. But we had a great time with that. And actually, we have another show, Horse Tip Daily, that my wife Jennifer does, is approaching 1,000 episodes. So that'll be another milestone there over on Horse Tip Daily. And
congratulations.
Yeah, we're very excited about both of those. And don't forget, you can catch all of the shows on the Horse Radio Network on our app, either iOS or Android on your phone. Just go to the App Store and search for Horse Radio Network. And it's free, it's easy to download, and it's the simplest way to listen to the Dressage Radio Show and all the shows on the network. It just makes it very simple and easy to do. Well, of course, you can find the United States Para-Equestrian Association at uspea.org, uspea.org. Well, thank you, guys. We appreciate you being on, and we'll be back again next month. The Paras join us the last week of the month here on the Dressage Radio Show, and we appreciate them being with us every time. Have a great ride, everybody. Reese and Phillip will be back next time.